Hi everyone, today we are going to be driving back to the Algarve from Porto.
We walked past this confeitaria. Sorry, my pronunciation still needs some work. TUPI, and it looks like it's got really nice pastries, so we're going to get some stuff for the road. This is the place. Look at all these nice pastries. Wow. My battery is starting at 65%. I didn't get a chance to charge before we departed. I went for some lunch here in Central Porto, which will be in a separate video. So remember to subscribe and like this video if you like my content. And we'll be sharing more about traveling around Europe as well as everything about Tesla. I have set it to go all the way back home in the Algarve. It has asked me to stop at the Mealhada Supercharger and then go to Alcácer do Sol after that. It is currently 3:30 p.m. and it's predicting that I will get to Mealhada just over an hour. It's 98 kilometers from here. So the total travel time, it says here, we'll only arrive home at 10:15 p.m. which means that it'll be about 6 hours and 45 minutes. Let's see if we can make the predicted time, 10:15 p.m. or possibly earlier than that. We are about 5 minutes away from the Supercharger in Mealhada. We kind of on schedule. It is currently 4:28 and we'll arrive there at about 4:33. The A1 from Porto all the way here has been very pleasant. The road conditions are really good. Today the road hasn't been very busy. It is a Wednesday during the day, so I don't think many people are traveling about along the highway, and there have been a few trucks, but they do stay on the left lane, so it has been pretty easy to drive. If you recall my previous video, I got Autopilot striked 5 times, so I haven't been able to use Autopilot. I'm going to check if it's available again, because I forgot to check whether it's available and reactivate it in the settings, because it's been just under a week, maybe 5 days since I got striked. So let's see when we get to the Supercharger to see if it's been reactivated again. I just took the turn off now into Mealhada, where the Supercharger is. It's literally right off the highway. As you can see, I'm entering and paying for my toll here before I get to the Supercharger. It is literally about 1 kilometer off the highway, so it's not, you don't really have to go in far into a town to charge, which is great. This is the first time I've been here, so you guys are going to be seeing it for the first time the way I'm seeing it. It looks like the Supercharger is right by the restaurant down there. Oh, that's pretty cool. So a lot of people have made the concern that some chargers are in the middle of nowhere and there's no rest stop. You can't use the bathroom, so you have to wait. But the ones along this highway have all been where there is a rest stop as well as a bathroom. So if you need to use the toilet and need to freshen up, or if you're feeling hungry and need some snacks, it is available. Wow, it actually looks very busy, so it looks like there's a lot of people here. I'm going to park on top where there's shade, and I'm probably going to take a nap. I'm a little bit tired because I didn't get much sleep last night since we've been traveling. It looks like it is one of the fastest superchargers, so let's take a look. I'm going to charge, and it says if we don't charge, we will get to Alcácer do Sol with negative 51%, which is obviously not possible. So we got to charge for an hour to continue the trip apparently, but I'll see how long it takes to charge to continue as well as to charge to 100%. If it's an hour, I'll probably take a nap anyways, so it's probably going to be perfect for me to actually charge to max. Alright.
Pulling up to the Tesla Super Club.
Tesla Super Club. Cool. So I've been driving quite conservatively. I've been cruising at about 115 to 120 kilometers per hour. I've used 2.2% less than predicted, rated 5.3% more, so it's not that much more to be honest. And since I last charged, it's been 153 watt hours per kilometer, and the current drive was 172 watt hours per kilometer, which is much better than on the way here, which is just about over 200. So I did get better range this time. Let's see if you get more range going southbound in Portugal instead of northbound. Okay, Okay, so it's starting to charge. Oh, it actually changed from 1 hour to 35 minutes to continue trip. But this obviously it just started charging. So let's see what happens when it speeds up charging. Hopefully we can get to 170 kilowatts or 150 kilowatts, because last time we couldn't get it above 120 as far as I remember. Check out my other video if you want to see our trip from Algarve to Porto, and be sure to subscribe. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try some of these pastries that we bought at TUPI before we left Porto. So let me show you what we got. I'm really bad with pastries, but all I know is we got a pastel de nata. So this is a mini one, and then we got something else that looks like a pastel de nata. I have no idea what that is, and I have no idea what that is either, but both of them look really good. I think there's custard inside that one. But let me try the pastel de nata first, because I've had so many of these. I think I'm qualified to comment on whether this one is going to be good or not. Let's take a look. This one's okay. The cream is very dense in this one. It's not super flaky, but I think it's also unfair to compare a small pastel de nata with a big one. But yeah, I don't think I would buy this one again, to be honest. I was a bit surprised, because that was at a proper confeitaria. Next up, I'm trying this other thing that looks like a pastel de nata, at least on the top. But the side is very hard. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to bite this open. Okay, so this smells like a baked cake. I think pastel de nata is baked, but this smells like a cake.
Like a biscuit.
It's just very similar to pastel de nata.
It smells like a milk
Instead
tart
of
in here.
I don't know if many of you have tried a South African milk tart, but it tastes a lot like a South African milk tart actually. The outside is, so the pastel de nata is supposed to be flaky and layered, whereas this is like crummy. It's like a biscuit.
Like a milk tart.
Like a milk tart, yeah. This is actually better than the pastel de nata, by the way. I might be biased because I like milk tarts. It's kind of falling apart, but I'm going to keep it closed.
Was it better than pastel de nata in general, or better than the pastel de nata you just had?
Okay, that's a fair question. It is not necessarily better than a pastel de nata in general. I think I've had really good pastel de nata as well. I'm not sure if this is the best version or whatever this is. This thing that I just had is better than the pastel de nata that I just ate. But I would say it's also pretty good, so it's up there with a good pastel de nata. I would give this 8 out of 10. This is the place that had my best pastel de nata. It's Fabrica de Nata. It's actually a chain. I will leave a link in the description below. Finally, I am trying this puffed pastry kind of thing. I think there might be custard inside as well. It's got cream on top, as well as strawberries and blueberries. It also seems like there's a bit of syrup on top as well. I don't know if you can see that glaze in the camera. Also don't know what this is called, so I will put the name overlaid in the video if I find out. If it doesn't, if there's no name, please comment below to tell me what I am eating. Look, it's not like I'm not gonna be able to find it again, but it'll be good to know what I'm eating. It's a bit sour inside. It's like an apple tart, isn't it? It's really good. Like the layers of the puff pastry is very light and fluffy. It looks like some sort of tart. I don't know if that's like, you see beneath the cream, I don't know if that's like apricot or apple, but this is really good. This is my favorite one so far out of all three. I'm gonna have one more bite. Delicious. This is my favorite. Of the pastries I had today, this is my favorite. So please tell me what this is if I do not have the name of it on the video.
That was the one I was looking forward to the most.
I only ate half.
My idea of charging more than what is needed to continue the trip was actually foiled, because I do need 100% to continue the trip, which makes me a little bit nervous, because even now at 97%, I will have 9% remaining when I get to Alcácer do Sol. So I'll monitor while I'm driving to see if I need to stop halfway at, well, not even halfway, a quarter way at Fatima to top up again. but let's take a look. Maybe my conservative driving on the highway or downhill driving will allow me to get to Alcácer do Sol with more than 10%. So we have been charging for about 40 minutes. It is 5:11 p.m. and we are at 98%. So possibly another 15 minutes to 100%. As you know, the charging slows down dramatically as it gets close to the 100% charge limit. And yeah, it's been a beautiful day to drive. There has been no clouds or rain, unlike when we drove up here from Algarve. So it has been a pretty pleasant drive. I'm going to check if I can rename Autopilot. Oh, it looks like I am still blocked from Autopilot. I got banned on Friday last week. Today is Wednesday, so I'll check again on Friday this week to see if my Autopilot has been re-enabled. But for now, I'm going to have to just use traffic aware cruise control, unfortunately. It has finally completed, and it did need me to charge to 100%. Alcácer do Sol is 367 kilometers away, which I think I'll make it because my estimate is 399. So even if I drive really aggressively, I should still make the 267 with enough charge left. So I think this thing is just being, obviously better safe than sorry. So we're gonna leave now. It is 5:30 p.m. and we should arrive at Alcácer do Sol just before 8 p.m. There's another Model 3 Highland over there and one down there as well, both with aero wheels. Should I have gone with the aero wheels, or do you think I made a good choice with the 19-inch wheels? Are you strapped in? Ready to go? Baby, I was strapped in.
Just showing Finley how it's done.
Nice.
No need to be stripped.
Okay, so we are gonna be leaving Mealhada Superchargers now, and that I was not expecting the car to tell me to charge to 100%, but I guess it's definitely trying to be safe and sorry, so we don't arrive at Alcácer do Sol, or so that we do arrive at Alcácer do Sol, rather. And yeah, it's been a pretty pleasant drive. I didn't manage to get a nap in because I was busy with some messages, and so I just ordered myself another coffee at the rest stop. The coffee was horrible. Maybe it was the barista. Maybe next time I come here, or any of you visiting, will have a better experience than me. I ordered a cappuccino. Maybe I should have just ordered a regular coffee. As you can see, the sun is setting. We'll probably drive into the night. We'll only arrive back in the Algarve at about 10 p.m. So sit back and enjoy the video, and be sure to hit the subscribe button if you like my content, and smash the like button, and leave any comments and questions that you might have below, and I will try to answer them. Okay guys, we are almost at Alcácer do Sol. I've been to the supercharger station many times. It's the one between Lisbon and Algarve, so every time we drive north from Algarve we have to stop there. It is about 8 minutes from here. I have been driving a little bit more aggressively because I want to get home and I don't want to drive 110 kilometers per hour. Of the 258 kilometers I've driven since the previous supercharging station, I've used 48 kilowatt hours, so I am actually pretty low on charge now. It is 14% predicted when I arrive. Thank goodness it told me to charge to full. This is the turn off the freeway to get to the Alcácer do Sol charging stations. So I quite like this supercharger station. However, I don't think that the store is available 24/7. So hopefully the bathroom is still open because I actually need to go to the toilet.
I also need the toilet, but I think I'm just going to wait till about.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, it's still open, yeah.
Can you buy me some crisps?
Sure. Thank goodness we charged it full earlier, otherwise we definitely would not have made it, because there's only 13% left. Let's do a review of the energy consumption. I arrived here about 3 or 4 minutes ago at 7:47, and we drove 2 hours and 17 minutes, 269 kilometers, and I almost depleted all the charge. I mean, there was about 13% left. I did use 14% more than the trip projection. As you know, my trip projection is pretty low because my consumption is pretty high, but I did drive quite aggressively, so I did use 14% more than the trip projection. Compared to rated, I used 19.5% more. So actually I should have arrived with closer to 30%, but that's only if you drive at like 100 kilometers an hour, and which means we would have only arrived here probably at 8:30. To be honest, I don't think I can drive for much longer than 2 hours at a time. I know some people can power through and drive for 4 or 5 hours or 6 hours straight. I would have stopped even if I had a fuel car. The argument that EVs, make the trip much longer, I think it just applies if the charging takes really long. I think I only need a 5-minute bathroom break now, so I would have been ready to go. So 20 minutes charging would have been 15 minutes more. I think some people that don't need to stop, I think that would have made it a big impact if they had a fuel car versus an EV. So it really depends on whether you're able to drive for long periods. I personally, I don't think I've ever driven more than 3 hours straight. I get really dizzy even if I'm not tired. So for me, this hasn't been a big deal. Oh, and by the way, the bathrooms are only open from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. So if you need to use the bathrooms, make sure that you are charging between 6 and 11 p.m. at the Gulp Superchargers at Alcácer do Sol. At the rest stop, I bought some Coke. I had too many coffees today, so I can't have any more. But I did see this at the rest stop, and I've seen so many people in the Korean dramas eat this, so I'm going to try it for the first time. I actually have never had this. If you watch my other video on the way from the Algarve to Porto, linked up there in the drama where we were watching in the car, where they were eating the Kopiko as well. Oh, it's like interesting. It's like medicine. Tastes like coffee. Tastes a little bit like instant coffee, to be honest. And a little bit sweet. Definitely tastes like a familiar coffee candy that I've had before. Not sure if there's anything special about it, to be honest. So in the dramas, they always eat one and they say, this is ought to wake me up, because I still have another, I think, 2-hour drive. How many hours? Let's take a look. 1 hour 38 minutes. That's not too bad. Okay, so we have enough charge to continue the trip. It is almost at 80%. The distance remaining is 184 kilometers, and the estimated rated range is 314. So that should be way more than enough, unless I drive like crazy, which I will not. And I will see you at home, and we can do a review at the end. Stop charging, unlock the cable port, and how much was that? Okay, cool. Back in the port. Let's go. Okay, we have finally arrived at home. We had to drive a little bit faster because we had an urgent bathroom emergency. So we arrived ahead of schedule, and basically it used up a lot of charge, as you can see. And if you look at the consumption, we used 12.8% more than predicted on my trip. And on the rated, I used 25% more. It actually warned me that I should charge my car now to prevent damage to the battery. So I'm going to plug it in here at home. And thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe and like the video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Have a wonderful day.